Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be talking about renovations. Renovation is one of those things where you feel like you've done all your research, you've done your measurements, you've been on Pinterest, you've been on mood boarding, you've done all the things you feel you need to do a renovation, and yet still sometimes you finish your renovation, you start living in it, and then you do realize there might have been one or two things you would have done differently. And this is the case for ourselves, not because I regret it, just to help you guys that might be thinking of doing a renovation in their kitchen. So we had that kitchen done about 5 years ago from Ren. I did most of the design, I bought the appliances before going to the kitchen, and now living in it 5 years after, there's some things I wish I'd done differently. Interested? Let's get right into it. So the first thing will be lighting. Lighting is so important when you're planning any space, especially the kitchen. I'll tell you about it. So for us here on my island, I'm not a big fan of having 3 lamps. I did not do that. Instead, I kind of put a fixture around our extractor, which I prefer. I like to have space. I just have the idea of having dead space is okay to me. So that's dead space. But when I am prepping for food on the other side, I do cast a shadow, and it's not like I didn't think about having lights there. I do have lights, but they're not task lights. So in that case, when you're trying to prep, you keep seeing my shadow on there, and it's really hard sometimes to see what you're doing, especially during the winter. But yes, my advice would be make sure you layer your lighting properly. And this is not because I don't have any lights. You would see here, I do have some lights which are not downlight, they're LED strip lights, which changes color and all of that. It's all well and good for fancy sceneries, but when it comes to actually doing a task in the kitchen, it doesn't actually work. So that's the first one. My second on the list will be integrated food bin. If you'd watched one of my previous videos, you would have seen that having integrated bin is absolutely brilliant. Having integrated bin and having something that you can actually store the bins you're going to use, especially if it has a pull-out, absolutely brilliant. But in this case, I've got a food bin that sits on my countertop, which I don't like. Like I said, I like to have dead space where nothing is happening. It just looks nice and clean. Yes, I've got that. I wish I actually planned to have it integrated in other bins as well. I know it's a bit of a, food bin, you don't want to put it in an enclosed space, but it's always sitting down there on the worktop, enclosed anyway. So that's the reason why I actually had the insecurator, thinking that we won't really use our food bin, but you use them both. You use the insecurator, you use the food bin. The food bin would be nice if it's not on my countertop. Now the next one is an integrated dish soap. This is not a very popular thing that I see about, but it's something I would really like. Having your dish soap integrated, you don't have to see it on the countertop. I think at this point I might just have nothing on the countertop, but it's nice to just have some things integrated, and when you want to wash your plate, you're not as in bringing one thing out and people asking you which one did you use, because I haven't got my label, so most people can't tell if they're supposed to use to wash their hands or the dishes. That's my fault, but I like my shiny soap disposal, so that's the reason why I keep that. And if you put a label on it, it doesn't stay. So for me, I think if I had an integrated dish soap, you wouldn't really need to ask me if the only soap on the countertop is actually for washing your hands. Does that make sense? I think so. This next one is a bit of a sweet bitter one for me. It's the copper trims in my kitchen. It is the art that makes the kitchen look elegant in terms of the copper and a grey theme. It gives it the core of the kitchen. But for me, the downside is you can't screw any of your appliances in because of that trim. So my appliances are fine, they work quite well, but the other day with my mini microwave, I had to call on an engineer now because it was making noise. And then they come and they're like, oh, there's nothing wrong with your microwave, it's just because it's not screwed in. Don't call us next time. I'm like, okay, thanks. But yeah, that is one of those things. Also, I tried to have a Fish and Packer dishwasher in the beginning when we were installing the kitchen. You couldn't really work with that either. So it does limit the kind of things you can do in your kitchen if you're going to have a trim on your kitchen. So beware of that. So my next thing would be integrated sockets on the island. Now there's two parts to this. If you wanted to have those ones that pops up, that means you most likely would lose a drawer, which I didn't want. What I would have preferred is to have them just hidden underneath the worktop. That way you can plug in your sockets, you can plug in your laptops, and it's not in the way of anything. There's nothing popping out for everybody to see that you've got things plugged in there. So I do like that idea. If you're enjoying this video so far, give us a like button and consider subscribing. Let me give you a bonus tip about lighting. Lights is very important, like I said before. So if you want to, I would say plan your light in such a way by you're using LED lights. Everybody knows by now it's a lot more cheaper for you to run your lights on LED, but even then still make sure you're buying it from the same source. If you're going to have down lights in your kitchen, which I wouldn't advise to have just down lights, you should have down light, task light and ambient lights. So in your down lights, make sure that they're the same brand. That way you're getting about the same lightning throughout the room. These are the things that I would like to change in my kitchen. Nothing too serious, it's just things a little bit here and there, a bit of tweaking. If you've loved this video so far, you would enjoy the ones about the things that I actually like in my kitchen. You might go ahead and watch it here. Thank you so much for watching so far. I'll hopefully see you in the next video.